Right then, Mark, how are you looking team news-wise? Any new issues for us heading into this one?
No, not really, guys. Obviously, David Kasuma's going to miss this game, unfortunately. You know, he's been massive for us of recent. So, but we've got good quality that could come in and replace him. And that's the great thing about this league, that there's such a big volume of games. There's so many opportunities for the squad to come in and keep the shirt.
Is Jonathan Hogg in a position fitness-wise to come in maybe?
Hoggy's still getting assessed with his calf. So we're just kind of playing it by day to day with the medical staff, you know, and we'll just keep assessing him. But I'm looking forward to getting Hoggy back on the pitch, to be honest, guys.
Do you think that'll be sooner rather than later then?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
What about, sorry, go on, Mark, go on.
You know what it's like with calf injuries, you know, you have to be careful, like obviously anything muscular like that, and just make sure that the player's right. It's most important that he's feeling good in a good physical state to perform, you know. But from what I've seen from him so far in the training, I'm really enjoying working with him.
What about Nakayama? How's he?
Nakayama's actually trained really well. He's shown a good endeavour and spirit in the training. I think he's got to keep working hard, you know, because we've got a lot of options right across the defensive side. So I'm just going to keep learning about my players as we go, guys, you know.
Does that then mean that you've got a bit of a debate in that left wing back role? Because Ben Jackson did really well, and I know that Yuta was brought in for that sort of position, wasn't he, there? And he's an international. So for Ben Jackson to get ahead of him is a big compliment to Ben.
Yuta's been great, you know, like obviously Yuta the first week was away with Japan. So it was when he come in the door, I think he only had one session before the Reading game. So when a new coach and stuff, you're always trying to bed in your ideas, and the players are always trying to get used to it. But Yuta's really lucky in that respect because he's very flexible. He could play centre-back or he could play left-side centre-back of a three as well. So he's just got to keep training hard. And you could see with the squad, Big Boyle was in the squad and he's been terrific in training. Same with Josh Ruffles. He's been really good in training as well. So they've both earned their right alongside young Kessler to also be in the squad on Tuesday. And it's good to see that they're fighting for their places, guys. You know, that's what's pleasing to me. They're really fighting every day in the training to show me that they want to be in the squad.
It's a cliche, but it's a good headache then, isn't it? Because it sounds like you've got a lot of options actually at your disposal when you talk about it like that.
Yeah, it's a good headache. And as you've touched on before, it's all credit to the academy guys because the amount of great work they're putting in with these young players. It was amazing yesterday. We had like a kind of squad players and the players that hadn't played, and we mixed them in with the really young guys that were from the youth team, and they showed up so well. I was so impressed with them all yesterday. So we've got a real luxury of quality in the building from the youth, and I'll definitely be delving into it. And I think there could be a surprise with the personnel there as well at the weekend. So we'll just wait and see how that goes.
You're not scared to do that then, because you've already done it with Jackson and with Etienne as well, who we've just spoken to, who's been fantastic, hasn't he? He's really repaid that faith you've shown in him.
Yeah, that's the way I want to go, you know, but it's important that I've got my structure there, and the older players, the more experienced ones have been terrific, and they really look after the young ones. But who would have thought Ben Jackson would be scoring a goal like that? I mean, I definitely think he's capable of doing it, and that's why I started him, because showing me in training that he's ready.
And Etienne as well, we've just spoken to him, comes across as a really nice kid, and really grateful for the opportunity you're giving him as well.
Yeah, we've got to be calm with Etty because Etty's a special player. So we've got to really be calm with him, that we don't hype him too much, you know, because he's got a lot of development in him and he's not even started yet, but he plays with a real desire, and he's going to get physically stronger and more robust for this league, because we know it's a physical league, but he's dealing with all aspects of the game at the moment, and he's a bright kid. To come to England and adapt as quickly as he has, and also learn a new language and stuff's a real compliment for him and his family. He's a credit to his family. He's a fantastic young boy.
What pleased you the most the other night then? Because I was there the other night, and what I felt was really impressive from the team was the resilience they showed in the difficult moments, which for a team who's in the relegation zones had a tough start to the season, you could forgive them maybe for not having that resilience. What impressed you the most?
it was the way that we were so flexible to play the different systems and not having a big volume of training to implement these ideas, you know, because we were almost recovering the group. And it was the way that they were able to like shift the ball through the lines. And we had, as we talked on, maybe 5 players in the front line at times. We were 2 wing backs, we're 2 strikers, and we're 10. And then later on in the game, we played with 2 10. So there's a real people are unexpected, that they're kind of looking at us and they're not sure what we're going to do. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to bring clarity to our game, but for the opposition, it's really difficult for them to prepare for us.
And I noticed at times as well, particularly at half time when you came off, you and Dwayne Holmes were having a conversation. It was a very much a two-way conversation. How much of that is what you want at the minute, that feedback from those senior players?
Yeah, they're brilliant. You know, like that's what it's all about. You can make these special connections with the players. You know, I've always done that at all the clubs. Like the players always contact me now and say, listen, you're going to do the business. You know, they're all supporting me. And that's the special thing about football, is that this is the most important thing for me in football. It's not the football, it's making the relationships with the people, because that's what stands you in good stead in life, that people recognise you're a good person, a good authentic person, you know. And that's what my aim is, to show everybody here that I'm going to work ever so hard for this club to make the fans proud of their team, and I'm going to give it everything I've got.
How much have you looked at this next block then? Hull, Rotherham, Preston, Middlesbrough, Millwall. That's a block where a lot of people look and say their games you need to be getting points from now.
Guys, the way I work is that I just focus on the next game. I'm not a guy that looks 2 or 3 weeks down the line, because we know football changes so quick, you know. Every time you look on Sky Sports News, there's something new happening every day in the football world, and that's what makes it so exciting. So I just try and concentrate on my training day to day, have that idea in my head to get clarity in the team, and we focus and analyse the opposition as we go.
So what is your analysis, what has that shown you about Hull City this weekend then?
I'm the same. I keep getting mixed up with this word as well. You know, how analyse or analytics and all this. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're right. Like, it was really nice this week because I was able to just get in the car and have a nice drive up to Hull and watch Hull live. And that's something that I like doing, to get my eyes on them. And it's a good club, you know. We will respect them. They've got dangerous players. And as I've touched on as well to the players, there's going to be an unexpectancy with them as well, and an element of surprise, because if they have a new manager in before the weekend, they might just change everything. So we've actually got to kind of just focus on ourselves, and that's the way I am anyway. As a head coach, I always focus on us and what our strengths are, but I make sure that we respect the opposition.
This might sound like an obvious question then, but how much more do you learn when you go and watch a game live than what you would do if you didn't have that opportunity and you just got to do it on Y Scout or whatever it might be?
It's the perspective of the game, because you see the whole game. So like when you look at the television, the platforms, you do get scouting feeds and that, but never the same. And guys, there's nothing better than looking at the players' faces. They see what their body language is, how they handle the difficult periods in the games, what they're doing when the ball's on the opposite side of the pitch and things like that. It's all stuff that gives you that confidence as a coach to go and see the spaces that you could expose them and stuff, you know. So to see the opposition live is really important for me, you know, and that's why I really wanted to I was excited to get in my car and go up there and get a feeling for her. And it's going to be a tough match.
Good stuff. Cheers, Mark. All the best.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Add it up.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve.
No, David Kasumu, as you've mentioned. How do you cover for a player's absence? Because it's been really important for this side last week.
Yeah, he's an important player, but we're lucky we have good options in that area as well. And that's the special thing about football, Stephen. Everyone could come in and fight for the jersey, and when they come in and do well, they keep the jersey, you know.
Yeah, Conor Mahoney is one of the players, perhaps. You played him in central midfield. I think we expected him more as a winger. Do you see him as a central player?
He actually played in the 10 just off the striker. And I think he's very flexible, and I think he's getting himself physically ready now, and that's a real credit to our fitness staff here that they've worked really hard on him and his upper body and his running stats and everything. So he's becoming more robust for the league. And I think he's a player that, because of that, now he's got the confidence from his body shape that he could actually play in many more positions as opposed to just playing in wide areas.
You've played sort of a wingerless system, is that because of the personnel you've got available? You've got a couple of wide players out at the moment.
Yeah, we just play like a system, but it always has the same principles, and we're really clear on what we want to do. So we'll keep working on that. It's early days, and there's so much more room for improvement with this. So that's the exciting part for me, is that I know where we're at the moment, but I know exactly what we're going to be like in the future.
What are the things you've seen that you were pleased with, and what are the things you think you need to work on still after these first couple of games?
There's many stuff to work on, that's what me and my staff do. We analyse certain situations in the game where we could have dealt with maybe certain issues that we didn't deal with better, but there was a lot of pleasing positive things as well, and I keep touching on it. I'm a guy that wants to put on as many offensive creative players as I can, but it's important that we have a strong platform to play from, and we did have good security at times at the back as well. For when we lost the ball, we were strong in the counter-attacks. We went, recovered the ball well on Tuesday in a really aggressive tight pitch, and we were aggressive in everything we did, which was a great signal for me.
It was a tough night for Luke and Beto. Don't want to dwell on it, but are you pleased with what you've seen from the players getting around him this week?
Yeah, real team spirit in this group. Everybody's been fantastic, one. And he's been great. Luke's come in. He understands that it's unacceptable the manner in which we lost the goals, but he's a young player. He's learning, and that's what happens. You make mistakes, and you could only learn from it. Guys, I've got 3 little boys, and you keep telling them to stay away from the hot cooker or the oven, but when they go and burn their hand, they'll not go back there again. But it's sore at the time and they're crying. But I'm not saying the players are like that. What I'm saying is, with young players, you learn by your mistakes. When you get burnt 2 or 3 times, you'll not do it again. And that's part of Luke's development. We're really lucky because he's an exciting young player. He's got the full package. Physically, he's strong, he's quick, he could pass it, but he's just got to learn fast,
Yeah, it's 2 up top as well on Tuesday. Is that a partnership, Ward and Rowe, do you think could do something in this division?
100% believe in these 2 guys. Got great numbers and they combine really well. Danny on another night could score. You see the movements he was making in the box. If that final ball was a bit better, he's getting his first touch finishes, and Rogie goes and does what Rogie does, and was ice cold in his head when he scored that penalty. Rogie's a killer in the box, no doubt about it. And that's 2 goals in 3 games now, so he's on form. He's going to be a big danger to anybody in this league, and the both of them complement each other really well. So I think we've put that question to bed now about them not being able to play in that together. That's not going to happen in my team. They'll definitely be able to play together, and they've shown that Tuesday night for a long period in the game.
I think we've seen late on against Reading and sort of throughout the game against Luton, players getting in the right positions for the crosses, getting balls into the box, and maybe just no one quite being on the end of it. Is that just understanding understanding what you want and something that's going to come?
Well, they're already getting it because the structure's good in the move. So that's what I look at as a coach with my staff and say, it's just that final pass or the decision making or the area where they put the ball for the goal to be scored, but it's all coming, and that's part of the training. Just focus on your training, keep being relentless on them. It's no easy for them. They're getting rewired in their heads, and it's tough. You could see them with their body language some days and notice that they're coming off and they're really stressed with the training, but it's going to make them better. It's my responsibility, guys, to make this team better. That's why I'm getting paid a good salary from the chairman and his wife, and I want to give them everything I can to make sure this team is at it week in, week out in this league. We are not going to be any rollover whatsoever. We are going to be aggressive in every single game we play.
Is that, I think you've been sort of looking forward more than we've seen before you arrived, looking forward with the ball, trying to attack more. We've also seen you having more of the ball. Is part of that just the opposition that you've played, or is that sort of one of the tenets you want to see in your side, that possession based?
I think it was more like we had more sessions to implement what we wanted to do. So you were starting to see the identity of what I see this team and where they're going to arrive at with the style of play. And we're going to be really clear on what we're about. And I'm definitely going to want to be in control of the ball for big periods of the game, because I've got tools in there. There's guys in there that can handle the ball. And especially when Hoggy comes back, he's a guy that likes to dictate the game, boss the game from midfield as well. So he's going to be massive for me when he comes back in that respect. Very tactical, strong, understands the game, knows the moves he's got to make, and actually leads players into getting in positions that they should be getting. So he's going to be a big plus for us when he comes back as well.
One thing that is letting you down, obviously, is the errors, and we've talked about them over the past couple of games. What do you think is causing those errors, and is it something you think you can get out of the players quickly?
Yeah, we'll have to get it out of the players. It's unacceptable, the goals we're losing. We have to understand the 4 goals we've lost in the last 2 games are unacceptable. And I'm not wanting to see goals like that from my team happen ever again. And the quicker we stamp that out, the better. And it's going to be a case of, if you're making these mistakes, you'll not be playing.
Yeah. What is it down to? Is it concentration? Is it lack of confidence? What's the explanation in your mind?
I think it's probably a bit of naivety, especially with younger players, that they're not used to this type of football and it's new for them. And obviously you're dealing with a different style of football, a more aggressive style, but they're learning quick. So that's the pleasing thing, you know. And they show good character and resilience to come back in the games. But we have to be more solid. And I think it's been shown in the training that when we're playing 11v11s and implementing our ideas on how we'll work against the ball, there's no many goals scored by the opposition when we're setting up. And that's pleasing for me. So I'm seeing gradual progression with that.
Yeah. And do you want to get more out of open play as well? You obviously had great success with the set pieces over the past couple of games, but maybe a bit more from open play?
Yeah, that's like what you touched on, you know, we're getting in great positions. So the general open play for me Tuesday was very pleasing, but it's the decision making in the final third, you know, but it'll come. It comes the more we train, the more clarity we put on the team. And then when you talk about the set plays, I mean, who's actually want to face you in this league with that type of set play? I mean, it's just absolutely dangerous in every way. We're going to score a lot of goals like that.
It's next level, isn't he, Sorba, with those deliveries?
Next level, absolutely. And the movements from the players as well is bang on. Staff has been working really hard on that, and it's something we're very focused on, you know. So we're going to make sure that we're scoring goals week in, week out in this department. We'll not let any stone be left unturned in that regard, and there'll be a lot of variation with play with that because it's massive in the modern day game.
Fantastic. That's all from me. Best of luck Sunday.
Thank you very much, Pat.
And Leon?
Hiya, Mark. Morning.
Hi there, morning.
Hiya, mate. Yeah, I was just sort of thinking your time in Germany at Hertha, you know, some great days, and the home games were like events, and everyone was all in, and you know, you got your aims, and you know, you managed to stay up. I mean, those sort of events and experiences, that's what you're trying to create for your home games at Huddersfield.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to build a big relationship with these fans as soon as we start winning games. You'll see the passion we've got in the stadium, because I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's why I come to this club, because I know what these fans are like.
Yeah.
You start hearing them sing, the hairs will go up on your back and you'll run through brick walls for them. And that's what our players will do. They've done that Tuesday night. I mean, the people that travel down there Tuesday after a disappointment result on Saturday, they were different class. That's why I went over to them to show them how much I care about them. And our players care about them, and they're really important to us, you know. You could see that at home games when they get behind us. It's such an exciting stadium to be at. So I'm like, how could I say this? I'm like a wee boy in a sweetie shop for Sunday now. I just can't wait for the game to start, because I want to get out there in front of them and show them what we're about.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen the footage of the times under David Wagner, and everything's that sort of connection, and that's something that you're striving for in the old chapter of your career. You know, just to make the people feel happy again, because it's gone a bit flat.
Yeah, listen, it can happen like that at clubs, you know, and you guys have seen it as well. And I noticed that when I come in here, everything was a bit flat.
Yeah.
That's not me as a person, you know.
No.
For me to be where I am today, it's all through being positive and having big belief in myself. And I really believe in this group, guys. And I know that when we click into gear, we're going to give teams big problems. And I know that when the fans get behind them, it's going to give them that extra yard to be aggressive and fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I know they'll be behind us on Sunday because it's an exciting game, and Hull's obviously a close opponent to us. So we know what it means to beat them. So we've got the bragging rights, and we're going to be right up for it.
It sounds like it'll be a big day for the family as well. I mean, they're part of your journey, and it'll be a lovely day. They'll be sat in the stands and hopefully, you know, cheering on.
Do you know what? They're actually in Cyprus.
Oh, God.
We had a holiday booked to Cyprus. I think I've touched on it. My mum works in Dundee in the hospital. And
Yeah.
She works in the laundry, and she's really private lady, but they've got 7 grandkids. And she was basically just bringing them all up.
Yeah.
She's like a second mum to them all, and we keep telling her, "You're not the mum now, you're the grand."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's needed a break, so they've went out to Cyprus with the family for a good holiday. And I was a wee bit jealous here the other day, seeing my boys jumping in the pool and stuff at the villa, because I'm thinking, you know, starting to change the weather here and that as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be amazing when I get them down here and get them integrated into the lifestyle in Yorkshire. And I'm just hoping that they don't lose their accent. That's the main thing for me.
Yeah. You'll have to. It'll be a nice phone call afterwards if you won, mate. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I mean, it was great this week as well. I've been going up to the stadium. Just to really like get to know all the staff up at the stadium, because it's so important for this club. They do so much work behind the scenes. It's not just here at the training ground, it's also up there at the stadium. And I really like going up there, and you could get a bit of banter with the ladies, and they're giving me stuff and all that about my accent and things like that. So I've loved that, you know, like Anne's always texting us from the club up there as well and saying, keep it going, you're going to start winning games. They support me so much, to me and my family, guys, you know. You've all made us feel so welcome, and it means a lot.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you finally, it seems to me that the one thing you really hate is negativity and poor body language, and that's not going to turn things around at Huddersfield, isn't it? You know, you want people to be positive, you know, bright individuals.
Yeah, like I've been in these situations before, you know, and I touched on it with you guys. Some of the situations have just been incredible. I mean, you could arrive, lose the first game, and you'd be better just packing your bags and going home.
Yeah.
That's obviously, we understand where we are and the seriousness of it, but we have to be positive with each other as a group. And when the time's right, we're going to be really hard on each other as well, and we will have our fallouts at times, because it's all for the target in mind and to get the success.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck on Sunday, Mark. Thank you
so much, Pa. Thank you.